Hi, Charles. Is there a point when you think you'll feel you've done enough in crypto space and walk away, or do you envision it being in it until you're dead or can't function anymore? Well, the way I built my life, I'm getting into a point where I'm kind of in a meta company. So I'm setting up a biotech company and I invest in a lot of different things. I'm a very successful VC. And we have IO, and IO is turning into this wonderful, kind of incubator for tons of interesting ideas. So as Cardano transitions to an open source project and more members of that community instead of stewards, it gives us the ability to continue contributing, but then work on dozens of things at the same time. So from that perspective, you never get bored because you have many opportunities and you're able to fail fast and succeed and make lots of money. But on the other hand, you also can focus a lot more on impact and socially beneficial things. So I'm never going to run out of stuff to do. The crypto space, it is one of the most magical and one of the most frustrating. It's magical from the perspective that we have the capacity to change the world. And people say that, oh, well, we're going to change the world, rah. But we actually can, if you think about it. Look no further than the Ukrainian crisis. You have 2 million refugees in Poland. The vast majority of them are having a hell of a time accessing anything that requires a government record in Ukraine. Um, so when you look at that stuff, sorry, I had a pop up. So when you look at that stuff, you realize we need to get this done. We absolutely need to get to a point where Cardano has a capability to take the 3 billion people who lack economic identity and give it to them so that they can basically enjoy the same lifestyle I have and other people have. So there's a morality behind the things we do. Cynical journalists somehow want to equate this to being alt-right or libertarian utopia or crypto anarchy. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to help people. And it makes me truly, truly sad that a group of people have become so cynical and hardened and lack any notion of empathy or human responsibility to helping people. But then they write articles in Time and they write books and they do other things, talk about how evil and bad crypto is or focus on all the negative things. And meanwhile, you see the people and you see them suffer and you realize that if you don't do something, no one will. If not me, then who? If not now, then when? We have the tools, we have the capabilities. So no matter if you want to quit or not, you have to show up every day because there's nothing in life I could do at the moment that's more meaningful than showing up every day for crypto. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this industry that is just sickening and disgusting, like all the scams and the Ponzi's and the irrational expectations and the moon boyism, the cliques that are formed, the token funds that are formed, the predatory behavior, the information asymmetries, the insider trading, the market manipulations, the games exchanges play. And being in the industry for 8 years now, I've seen literally everything. Everything. I knew John McAfee. I saw people list BitConnect. I saw it all. And you say, okay, well, there's certainly going to be some justice. There's certainly going to be some rebalancing of the scales, but certain ventures now have $10 billion when they raised four and they got to keep all of it and say they don't even have any obligations or duties to people they raised it from. So unfortunately, there isn't any of that. And people just get away with doing all kinds of things in the short term, but they don't get away in the long term, because even if legally they're okay, they still have to live with themselves and their conduct and their acts. And I'd like to believe that there is some notion of karma for how these things work. Unfortunately, it has hurt a lot of people, older people, younger people, irrational people. There's a mania about crypto that's deeply unhealthy. People go and make 100x, 1000x, 10,000x, and they think they're the smartest people in the world, and they don't realize they've gotten lucky. They put it all on red and won, went to the roulette table, and they won. That doesn't make you smart. And if you keep doing it, you're going to end up losing everything. So that really does disgust me. And the longer I've been in it, the more of it I've seen, and you get a little jaded and cynical. And if you didn't have that constant renewing of the mission, I don't think I'd be in the space anymore. I think I'd just go do something else. For as many events as I go to, and as many of these AMAs I've done and these other things, I'm actually quite reclusive these days. I enjoy privacy. I enjoy being off the grid, a certain degree of asceticism, which is why I bought my ranch. And I tell you, there's many times when I go up there, I say, boy, this is nice. I don't want to go anywhere. Every given month, I get invitations to go to probably more than a dozen countries, meet this billionaire, meet this head of state, do this thing. And it is a struggle to kind of balance all of that with the reality that I shouldn't be traveling as much anymore. It's not necessary for Cardano, and it's counterproductive to a healthy, balanced lifestyle. So never quite leave crypto, just change the way that I personally interface with it, and have plenty of actors floating around that are more than capable of carrying the torch for certain things I used to do. But there's a clear roadmap this year, and there's a clear roadmap next year, and we're just chipping away at it. We're just going to keep chipping away at it. Cardano is my life's work, and there's no reality that I'd ever walk away from it unless I felt that Cardano is in a position where it's self-sustaining and it's self-determining, and it's sustainable from a perspective of that as it gains millions of users, it still does the things that were promised on the label. It can upgrade itself. It has predictable cost. The technology is where it needs to be. We're getting ever closer to that reality, but it still does require constant vigilance from dozens of companies, not just my own. And what's amazing is that the vigilance is provided now by over 3 million people. So it's exciting from that perspective. There's magic there, and we're accelerating, not slowing down. Pipelining, input endorsers, Mithril, Hydra, these are all things that are near horizon, and they're just the beginning. Omega, multi-resource consensus, building a vibrant sidechain ecosystem, tons of standards, interoperability like ISO 222, dozens of things like that. They can be done in a 3 to 5 year time horizon. It's pretty amazing. And the governance itself, new voting systems, these things, this is probably the most exciting time of the project's history, because we actually get to do interesting and real things. And we get to see those interesting and real things impact the lives of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people. You don't get that option or opportunity as a person, usually. You may get occasionally, from time to time, a chance to do one or two things that are very meaningful at that scale. But to do a collection of dozens or hundreds at a scale of hundreds of millions, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So regardless of the price of admission, you deal with that later, but you take it and you never look back, just like a Shackleton ad to go to Antarctica. It's something you have to do. But all things have their place and time. And actually, that alarm means I got to get going. So, good question to end it. Thank you, everybody. This was a lot of fun, and I'll send some tweets and reports after I get back from Dubai to Colorado. Cheers.